Guys, let's go. Game number 2 of Classic versus KeeN here. So we swapped away from Hero Solo because I figured if we do it like this, we'll get into the upper semi-final a little bit faster, and then we can see where we're at with the upper semi-final before the lower semi-final begins, and that just gives me a bit of easier time figuring out what's going on and what's happening. We joined 2 minutes in because they started just re-entering a break and so on, so I do apologize. But you haven't missed too much. Both players just expanding. KeeN to the top right-hand side of the map is 1-0 up in the best of 3. And he is up against Classic, who is the Blue Protoss player, down to the bottom left side of the map. This isn't the round of 8. Winner plays Bjorl. So we're setting up into either another PVZ or TVZ as our series following this, which will be one of our qualifying matches, basically. So that will be happening. That's what we're going to be going into. And that's what we'll set it up towards. So that's going to be exciting, I think. Going to be exciting. Looking forward to it, actually. As you see, robot facility coming down here from Classic in the main base. So setting up that robot facility and just looking to see where you can go in the next few moments. Again, in about 2.5 hours. So the weird thing today is that I messed up the schedule, and in 2.5 hours I have to do a sponsored stream. So I'm going to be playing Drop Zone. I'm actually going to be it's kind of their stream marathon thing. It's the launch day of Drop Zone. We're going to have some keys to give away to new RTS, so you can check it out. I'm going to be playing it for the first time, so you can watch me be a fool and lose and all the rest of it. And you can maybe win a key. I think I've got 4 keys to give away to you guys, so a few keys to give away. So yeah, it should be fun. That's in 2.5 hours, so we'll go out of this into that. Again, it just makes it a little bit difficult for me to judge kind of where exactly I'm meant to be. You know, am I meant to be kind of, you know, casting both semis or just the one semi? Because we got to make sure we finish at the right sort of time. So I'm just going to try and judge it as best as I can, guys. So bear with me a little bit, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying, like, should we do this, should we do that? I'm trying my best to figure it out, and it's just my fault for scheduling badly because I really didn't realize that I was, I just didn't realize I was going to mess it up like this, so I do apologize. I do apologize. Anyways, that's going to be coming up later. Stick around, watch, you can maybe win a key, play the game a little bit yourself, because it is its launch day today, so it could be cool. As we see Observer coming in. We haven't talked much about the builds. I'm 5 minutes in game. I do apologize. It's because we started 2 minutes off and I did my usual talking about nothingness for 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, I mean, pretty standard though, really. If you look at it, just Reaper came across the map to scout a little bit. We actually see a Raven up very early, and this is something which you might think is a bit weird, but actually the Raven early on is not too crazy. It's something which we saw a lot more kind of early in Legacy of the Void, and it's something that becomes very... It feels like a very metagame sort of decision in the sense that it's something that happens for a while and then people just don't do it again for ages. But it's very powerful when playing against like Adept, Stalker-based openings, because the PDD, the point defense drone, can soak up so many shots from those initial units that the first fight can really go your way as the Terran player with that on your side. Now we're going to be seeing this Reaper just moving down, and we are going to be seeing the Adept is going to pick it off with the help of the Immortal. So Reaper goes down here. 3rd CC builds some KeeN. I mean, his setup is very standard. You know, Stim Pack, Combat Shields, and +1 on the way. 3 racks. The only weird thing, potentially, you could argue is this Raven. Reactor comes up in the factory, which is where the starport should go to. You get some medevacs out, and it all lines up quite nicely to lead him into a nice standard mid-game from this point on. Now we're going to be seeing the Nexus is coming up to being about 75% of the way done as Classic establishes his 3rd base too. He's gone into fairly fast Colossus play here with... I thought he had a Forge, but apparently not, so just going into Colossi nice and quickly. He has the Blink, so you just have that to help protect the Colossus, and yeah, just going up to 6 gates, setting up into 3 bases, and both of them playing pretty passively right now for the initial stages of this PVT. So yeah, setting up quite nicely into this, and we'll see where we go from this point on. As still for now, these Stalkers actually just going to blink over the side, and the Raven takes quite a bit of damage, so Raven taking quite a few shots, does go very low on health. SCVs will be pulled in to repair this Raven up, so Raven will get repaired on up here, and looks as though it will just be back to full health nice and quickly. And that's nice. I mean, losing the Raven would be a big blow because that's a big investment. 200 gas and the build time of a Raven is a big investment to just lose without getting anything out of, so again, it can make a difference in a fight. You know, PDD against what is going to be fairly Stalker-heavy composition is always going to have some potential. Oh, just talking about how it's going to be nice. Ah, ha, ha, use the PDD to stay alive. I mean, that's nice, but at the same time, it's not great because ideally you would have had that PDD in the next fight rather than right then. I mean, now it's 100 energy for a point defense drone. It's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap. So it's something which is unfortunate here, I guess, for KeeN that he has to use it. But I mean, the Raven's still alive, so he can use it in other ways later on. And we'll see the next medevac coming across, and he actually unloads and then reloads, and well, now he's got full medevacs, which are going to get attacked by Blink Stalkers. One medevac going to go down instantly here. KeeN gets away with the other two. We'll have to start unloading though, because the Stalkers are chasing. He will blink forwards once again, gets one shot into the medevacs, then backs away. The Colossus here going to do a good job. Only a couple of Colossus, and then he's going to be going back in towards Immortal production. Not even going up to all 3 Colossi, which you oftentimes see. That's kind of the number you aim for, I guess, in that kind of in this PvT matchup. Marines and Marauders coming around through the center. We're going to see these 2 medevacs from KeeN as well. Looking to see what else is going on. Marines and Marauders from KeeN going to continue out from the third base, and still has a pretty strong army. Yes, losing an entire full medevac for nothing isn't great, but his army's still pretty good nonetheless, as we just see the units from Classic here moving around. A few Adepts, Stalkers, the Immortals, and the Colossus all joined up together. A few more Stalkers warping in and getting ready to go once again. Marines simming forwards, and they do pick off an Observer right there. So an Observer goes down, and a couple of Vikings continue to come on out here from KeeN as well. And you can see the +1 armor is about to finish up. The +2 attack well on the way. He's still definitely taking an upgrade lead, I guess. I guess not by too much though, right? 1-1's going to finish soon for the Protoss. He'll have 1-1 against nothing for now, but then he will also have the +2 armor +2 attack advantage as well. So, I mean, upgrades are pretty good. Classic actually killed off these back rocks, and I guess just to get towards the 4th base a bit more easily. Just in case he wants to come around the back here for some reason, even though that's not really the best of ways to go to get to that 4th base. More Prism is coming up to the top side here, and 4 Adepts inside of it. We'll indeed be looking to see what they can get up to very shortly. The +2 attack from KeeN going to be finishing very, very soon, and War Prism is actually going to fly past these 2 medevacs, and as they fly past each other, we'll see KeeN, Classic. Either you guys paying attention? No? Okay. Well, they probably see, I mean, they probably both identified that that was there, so they'll begin to react in other ways. You can see that KeeN is actually doing nothing about this, so KeeN, I don't think, did see it. I think Classic probably saw the medevacs, so he did click the War Prism while they were still in range. But, I mean, it's not like he's going to unload and pick off the medevacs, is it? You can see Adepts doing a little bit of damage here initially. And we are going to be seeing still a big drop sent up to the south side. Point defense drone available, and actually point defense drones can soak overcharged shots. So that's definitely something we can see here as we see a burning battlecruiser, a couple of burning battlecruisers down the south side. I love this map for seeing all the kind of weird things you can see. Where's that point defense drone? There it is. It's soaking a few of these shots up. These bio forces aren't taking any damage at all initially. And pushing in towards this position, I mean, he kills a bit, and now he'll lift up and just boost out. Loses about a medevac units to do pretty decent damage, so I'd say this was fairly worthwhile overall from Classic. Definitely wasn't a bad setup from him. Definitely wasn't terrible. Could have been a lot worse, so yeah, not bad. +3/+2 now on the way as well from KeeN as upgrades continue to come on into play. 4th base up from Classic, 4th base up from KeeN. And this game continues on. We're seeing a lot of kind of just macro-focused, longer games today, aren't we? Lots of games going the distance up to 4 bases and past that, so it's always nice, actually. I mean, nice to see the longer games. I mean, fun, you know, fast games can be fun too, fast engagements, decisive fights, but I always think the longer games are generally what StarCraft, you know, is when StarCraft really shows how great a game it is. And well, let's see what happens. Marines and Marauders pushing forwards. These Vikings in the sky is going to get rid of 1 Colossus almost instantly. I mean, there's way too many Vikings for the number of Colossi. I mean, there's 2 Colossi and like 20 Vikings. That said, I mean, the Vikings do die pretty quickly because of the amount of Stalkers, but I mean, would he have achieved the same effect to some extent? Well, potentially. Storm's keeping this bio army pinned back right now as Classic. Being very patient with this, does not want to push in too quickly, of course. And if he pushes in a little bit too quickly, he will find himself in a lot of trouble way too early on, as you see this Widowmine potentially go off on that army, but doesn't in the end. Marines and Marauders still just moving around between the bases. We could see a few Vikings up here from KeeN, and let's see what else is going on. A few Adepts and Immortal moving out in towards the center of these rocks, starting to be targeted on down. So taking down some rocks again, just opening the map, opening up attack paths. Also opens up this gold base as a potential base he can take. I don't think he'll go for that just yet, but more so he just wants to be able to go from here in towards the center of the map. Large 5 medevac job heading towards the main though, and well, Classic is both out of position but also in great position because now he can counterattack very quickly. The question is, you know, how well is he going to do in the base trade scenario as these Marines and Marauders start to unload from this group of medevacs. And this is going to be base trade time. I mean, the thing is, from KeeN, he's going to be on top of the production right away, and that is hugely important because he's going to be able to shut down Classic from rebuilding anything else immediately, whereas KeeN's production is actually pretty safe up here in the main base with the Liberators protecting it. And that is Classic's issue right now. How do you push on into this position? Well, he's going to have to try and find a way. Pylon's still being targeted down here. Charge got denied. The robot facility got killed as well. And this Nexus on the natural is about to go down. As you can see, that Classic trying to fight up this position. Storm coming down as well. He wants to get rid of these Liberators. He finally gets through. And he still has enough. And he still will be able to fight his way through this. But it did take him a little while. And we are just going to go into full-on base trade mode to determine who's going to be able to take this down. We actually have some High Templar over here. Is Storm available? Yes, it is. That could be a pretty big deal. Storm onto this army when there isn't much else to support. Well, actually, these Storms are huge right now, and they're cleaning up a lot of this bio. KeeN is losing out on a lot right here, and that means that with Classic, we'll open a few more gate units. I don't know where the gates are powered. Still in the main, a few pylons are up. Okay, Classic actually pushes this away, and he still has a good army across the map, so Classic's base trade is going to work for him. He's going to come out ahead because KeeN is still not really getting anything else right now. Liberator comes into play, but I mean, Stalker's blink on top of it instantly. A Widowmine takes down the Stalker while it blinks forwards there, and I mean, that's not great, but I mean, it's still completely fine. As KeeN drops back across the map, GG will be called. Classic takes game number